So you guys left here July 2nd. Corey, tell us some kind of things that you guys did while you were over there. What were some of the assignments that you had to do in Taiwan?
Well, we would help with an English class during a camp, and then we'd also assist with, what are they, sports.
Okay. You had 2 separate weeks of camps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different sets of people. Mike, how many people came to those camps?
The first camp was around a little over 100, and the second camp was about 120 kids.
Okay. So Jesse, walk us through a day. Okay, what happened during a particular average day?
Okay, so during the day we would have, they had a daily devotion that they did, just read a passage and answer some questions. We had personal testimonies where one of the staff would share how God had worked in their life. We did a couple hours of sports in the mornings. We had a English class. We broke them into kind of their English levels.
Okay.
And the English class, we taught it more from a Bible perspective, so we'd talk about sin, or we would talk about second chances or forgiveness or something like that, and it gave us a chance in a smaller environment to kind of talk to them about Jesus. We also would have a lot of free time just to build relationships with them, play 9 square or volleyball or something, and then we would have a main session at night. We would sing, get to watch them worship, which was really, really cool. And we would have someone share, kind of talk about, just present the gospel or how God had worked with them. And then we would just have some fun activity that night to build relationships with the family groups and just have a lot of fun, because they don't get the chance to have fun very much.
Okay, and Mike, again, talk to us and tell us, look straight into the camera here, tell people why they need to go on a mission trip at some point in their lives.
I mean, whether it's a construction trip or that's what we usually do, or it's like this trip, it's just building relationship and just seeing God work. So you're not only, usually you almost feel like you get more out of it than you can give, just looking at the people growing in Christ or learning about Christ. In Taiwan, it was just unbelievable to see how God moved with somebody that had never picked up a Bible before, probably had never even heard of Jesus before, and see the Spirit start working in their life and make them start thinking and asking questions. Because in Team Expansion, from what I understand, does not send missionaries anywhere unless the population has a 2% or less exposure to the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Thoughts, on your overall impressions of the trip to Taiwan, and any last, hey, here's what you guys really need to go on a trip or whatever.
One, I do, I'm a proponent of everybody going on a cross-cultural mission to experience that. I boiled this down to 3 things to go on this trip. You love sharing Jesus with people, you love sports, or students.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I think, I've been on quite a few with Scott, and definitely recommend it. Not only being around other Christians and growing stronger that way, seeing the devotion that they have and the sacrifices that they make, but also just seeing Christ work in those countries, especially where, like we're in Taiwan, where there's really no existence of Jesus in that culture. So, yeah, definitely for your own spiritual growth and to spread the gospel, I would recommend it to anybody, or say if you're physically able, you should do it.
Yeah, I want to jump back in, because one of the other things that Mike hit on is just the encouragement of the Christians in there that we can give by going and pouring into those. And I think that's huge. No matter where we go, that's one of the things we do. If it's Taiwan, if it's Haiti, if it's Jamaica, encouraging the Christians that we're talking with there. And they're not alone, because like in Taiwan, they do, a lot of times if they become a Christian, they lose their family cuts them off. So it's huge to encourage them that way.
Jesse?
I think that it was, overall the whole trip, it was incredible. It was one of the most challenging, but it was also the most rewarding, because we did have the conveniences, we had all that, but you were also just as overwhelming, these people don't know Jesus at all, the need is so great, how do I even start, especially when you have a little bit of that language barrier, and you're just like, there's so many of them and they need Jesus so bad. And so that was overwhelming, but it gave a chance for God to work through us and for us to see him at work and rely on him more instead of just on what we could do. So that was really cool for me and helped me, I don't know, just rely on God a lot more and trust him and just watch him work, which was really, really cool.
Especially like when you're giving answers to questions and stuff, and I don't know, what do I just say
Yes.
here? And thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Corey, final thoughts.
One of the things that I really liked about the trip and talking with the students about Jesus and Christianity was they would actually ask questions and they'd want to learn more, whereas here they just kind of enjoy insults and closed ears, one-sided.
Scott, as the chairman of the missions ministry, I want you to address, and I should have asked this sooner, but I think a lot of people are intimidated on going on a mission trip because of the expenses. The missions ministry does help in some way.
Yes, we do. It's 30% for the most part what we pay. We'll kick in 30% towards any overall fee. So when we advertise the fee of the trip, that is the fee. We don't drop. Then later we drop off the 30%. So you're presented with the whole picture of what the trip costs.
And there's also
And then there's
fundraisers.
yes, a lot of times there's fundraisers for any. And I know for these two, they did send out letters, and most of their expenses were covered by just asking friends, family, can you give us some money because we're going on this trip.
Because a lot of people think, they see that price tag, oh, I can't do that, and don't realize that there are ways that it's paid for.
You know, Carrie, since I've been here, the multiple trips we've had, I have never heard of anybody not being able to go because of money.
Okay. I think people need to know
So
that.
it is huge. So
All right. Well, thank you guys all for going. I mean, this is a long missions trip.
it is, but it was, I know Mike and I, I don't know if it's our age or just whatever, but we were together quite a bit on these trips, and it did not seem like 2 weeks. I think we could have done it a little bit longer even, so it was.
It went fast, as we
It did,
said.
it did.
Awesome. Well, thank you for serving the Lord on behalf of New Hope Christian Church.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.